Hi everyone, welcome to this particular video. My name is Bapi Hamid. In this particular video, we'll be discussing about sets in Python. So sets is another data type inside Python. We also call this particular sets as a data structure inside Python. We'll be discussing this particular sets in detail so that you won't be having any kinds of doubt, and make sure you're watching this particular video till the end. So let's launch our code editor and try to understand this set. So guys, here you can see sets is nothing but sets is an unordered collection of items. Every set elements is unique, no duplicates, and it must be immutable. Okay, that means cannot be changed. But however, a set itself is immutable. We can add or remove items from it. So if you still have doubt on this particular definition, no need to worry. I will discuss what I have written here. But just try to understand, a set is an unordered collection of items. Okay, like as of now, we have seen like list and tuples. So in list and tuples, we have seen like it is an ordered collection. It always follow the ordered collection. I think I already showed you. Let's say there are two lists. Let's say L1, which is having 1 to 3, and L2, which is having, let's say, 3 to 1. Now, if you just write L1 is equal L2 or not, you will see that it will give you false because it's an unordered collection. The second one is an unordered collection. Okay, it should also follow the same order. Okay, same thing also can be applied on the tuple. But sets is a little bit different. A set is an unordered collection of item. That means if you're storing that value in a unordered collection, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you this part. And every element is an unique. That means you can't add any kinds of duplicates inside a set. So if you are adding duplicates, it will give you only the unique value of it. That is the idea. And the items you are storing inside a set, it should be immutable. It should be immutable objects. I think you remember inside a list, we can store another list, like the nested list. And list is a mutable, right? Inside sets, actually, you can't store any kinds of mutable object. It should be always immutable. Okay, immutable objects. So let's try to see some of the example. I think then this part would be more clear. So here you can see sets can also be used to perform mathematical set operation like union, then intersection, then symmetric difference, and so on. I think you learned this sets mathematics in your college days. The same concept actually inside programming you can also use. Whatever, let's say, mathematical operation you used to perform, let's say union, intersection, then symmetric difference, everything you can perform here. That means the mathematical concept they have converted to the programming. So if you already know sets and if you already let's say learn sets in your let's say mathematical class, or let's say in your college days, this particular concept would be more clear in your mind. Now here you can see some characteristic of sets. It's an unordered collection. And sets is immutable. That means you can add elements, you can let's say delete elements inside a set. Okay, it's possible. But inside a sets, whatever value you are storing, that should be immutable. Okay, that is the things you have to remember. And it doesn't allow any kinds of duplicates. That means if you are also giving the duplicates, it will return you the unique value. Okay, always. And can't contain the mutable data types. Okay, as I already told you. Okay, it will always contain the immutable data type. So let's try to see how we can define a sets. That means how we can create a sets. There are so many ways you can define a sets. Okay, one by one, I'll show you each and everything. So guys, you can see we can create this particular sets. There are so many ways. You can see I have listed down each and everything. Now let me discuss some of the important concept in this particular sets. You have to always remember. See, if you want to create an empty set, what you can do, you can use this particular set function. Okay, you can use this particular set function. There is a set function is available. Now see, whenever I'm defining any kinds of set, let's say this is my one-dimensional set. Now you can see I'm using this particular curly bracket. That means whenever I was creating list, I was using this particular square bracket. Whenever I was creating tuples, I was using this particular parenthesis. And whenever you are creating sets, you have to use this particular curly bracket. Now you can ask me, see, you are using curly bracket here to create a sets. Okay, going forward, whatever example I have given, you can see I'm using this particular curly bracket. Let's say 1D, two-dimensional sets, then homo and hetero, everything I'm using this particular curly bracket. But whenever I'm creating an empty set, why I'm using this particular set function instead of using this particular curly bracket? You can ask me, can I create like that? Let's say if I just write s is equal to this particular curly bracket. Now if I execute, see, it will also create a empty set for me. If I print this particular s, it will create an empty set for me. But is it really a set? Just pause this particular video and let me know. Is it really a set? See, if you don't know, so what I can do, I can show you the type of this particular, let's say, object. I'll just write type. Inside that, I'll pass this particular s. Now see, if I execute this particular program, you'll see that it's a dictionary object. See, although I am using curly bracket to create this particular set, but if I'm checking the type, it's a dictionary. Why it's a dictionary? Because see, there is another data structure inside Python or data type inside Python called dictionary. I think I already discussed. Like I already told you the name of the, like, let's say data type dictionary. I think you have heard of, right? Dictionary also use this particular curly bracket. Dictionary also use this particular curly bracket. Fine. So that's why in both places, whenever you are using this particular curly bracket, by default your Python will consider this particular empty curly bracket as a dictionary, not a set. Okay, this is the design of like Python actually. So here we can't do anything. So Python have done these kinds of things, right? So they're telling if you're creating this particular curly bracket as an empty, if you're using this curly bracket and if you're not mentioning anything inside that, it will be considering as a dictionary. Okay, it would be considered as a dictionary. Okay, and if you want to create an empty set, that time you have to use this particular set function instead of using this particular curly bracket. Fine. So that's why I told you. So that's why here I have written if you want to create any kinds of empty sets, you have to use this particular function instead of using this particular curly bracket. Now see, if I copy this particular program and if I execute it here, you will see that now it will become an empty set. Okay, it will become an empty set. You can see it's a set object right now. The type is also set. Fine. That is the thing you have to always remember, because this particular question interviewer will ask you. Okay, because I've seen like lots of places interviewer will ask whenever I want to create an empty set. Okay, how I can create it? So most of the time actually people will get confused. So that's why it's a very super important concept you have to always remember. Fine. Great. So that's actually we can create an empty set. Now we can create a one-dimensional set. One-dimensional means like there should be only items. Okay, there should not be any kinds of, let's say, sets. Inside the sets actually there should not be any kinds of sets. Okay, now see, this is called one-dimensional copy, and here let me execute and show you. See, this is a one-dimensional sets. Okay, so here you can mention this particular curly bracket. Inside that you can store the value. Okay, 1 2 3 4 and whatever. Fine. So this is called one-dimensional actually sets. Now see, here you can use this particular curly bracket because this sets is not an empty. Okay, empty sets. So that's why curly bracket you can use it. Fine. This is called one-dimensional sets. Now two-dimensional set. Okay, now you can ask me whether I can create a two-dimensional sets or not, because it is possible inside list and tuple. It is possible inside sets or not. See, if I execute this particular program, you'll see that it will throw you error. Okay, it will throw you error. It will tell you unhashable type set, because set doesn't allow any kinds of nested concept. You can't mention set inside a set. It's not possible. Okay, it's not possible because sets is a mutable. Okay, sets is a mutable. I already told you sets is a mutable. And here you can't store mutable items inside a sets. Okay, here I have written, you can see element is unique, no duplicates, and must be immutable. Must be immutable. Okay, but sets is a mutable. That's why you can't store sets inside a set. It's not possible. But you can store, but inside that you can store immutable. Okay, immutable object you can store. Okay, any kinds of immutable data type you can mention here. Let's say tuple is a immutable. I can mention tuple. Let me show you. So instead of set, I'll give tuple. Okay, if I give tuple and if I execute, see, now this particular code will execute because tuple is a immutable. Okay, it's a immutable data type. That's how you can store. But if you're using any kinds of mutable data type, you will get an error. Okay, this part always you have to remember. Fine. Yes. Now let's see the homo and heterogeneous. I think you saw like homogeneous means it will only store one kinds of data type. Okay, now see, this particular sets I have defined, it's a homo or hetero. Just try to comment in the chat, in the comment box. It's a hetero, right? Because you can see here we are having multiple data types. We are having integer, then string, then float, and tuple type. Okay, that means it's a hetero. Okay, it's a heterogeneous sets. Now if I execute, see, it will work fine. And here I am giving tuple. Tuple is a immutable one. That's why we can store inside a sets. Okay, it's possible. Now using type conversion also you can create a sets. Let's say I can convert list to sets. Okay, it's possible. So inside a set function you have to give the list. Okay, or let's say tuple, whatever actually data type you are giving, you can convert it to sets. See, it's possible. Now see, it would be converted to sets. Fine. So this is called type conversion, set creation. Now see, duplicate does not allowed. So if I execute this particular program, you'll see that why duplicate does not allowed. See, here I have given a duplicates value 1 1 2 2 and 3 3. Fine. Now if you execute this particular program, you will only see that 1 2 and 3. So it will only pick up the unique value. It will only pick up the unique value. It won't be becoming any kinds of duplicates value. But which was possible inside our list and tuple. But inside sets actually it's not possible. It will only allow the unique value. Okay, not the duplicates value. That is the idea. That's why duplicates don't allowed inside a sets. Fine. Now set can't have any kinds of mutable item. I already told you, let's say if you are having any kinds of mutable item inside a sets, okay, it will throw you error, unhashable error. Okay, this particular error it will throw you. So you can't store any kinds of mutable object inside a set. Okay, it's not possible. Fine, but immutable you can store inside a sets. So yes, these are the way actually you have to remember. That's how actually we can create a sets. Okay, different way I showed you, and always try to remember these are the concept. Okay, whatever concept I told you about the sets. Okay, it's like very important. Okay, so far guys, you saw like how we can create a sets. Now let's try to prove. I told you it's a unordered collection. So let's try to see why it's a unordered collection. I will prove it. So what I can do. So what I will do, I'll just define two sets here. So let's say S is equal to, let's say 1, 2, and 3. This is my first set, and S2 is equal to, let's say again 1, 2, and 3. Fine. Or I can take like that 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is my set. Okay, this is my set. Now if I just write set 1 equal set 2. Now just pause this particular video and comment in the comment section what will be the output. It would be true or false if I execute this particular program. See, if I show you, if I execute this particular program, you'll see that it would be true. Although 1 to 3 and 3 to 1, it's not an ordered collection. Still, actually, it is giving you, it's a equal. Okay, it's a equal. That means it is the same. This set and this set is the same. Okay, so that's why I told you set always follow the unordered collection. So order doesn't matter here. Order can be anything. Value should be same. Okay, value should be same. If value is same, that means this particular set is same. Now see, instead of 1, if I take 11, now see, it will give you false because value is not same right now. Okay, that is why actually we call set as a unordered collection of item. Okay, this parties I think it is clear. Now the next thing we'll be learning accessing items. Okay, accessing items it's possible in the sets or not. So let me take the same example. I'll take sets 1. Now in list and tuple, I think you saw we can perform indexing operation. So it is possible inside set or not. Let me show you. So if I, let's say, want to access this particular 1, if I want to, let's say, access this particular 1 item, I'll give the index of 1, which is nothing but 0. Now if I execute this particular program, you'll see that it will tell you set, you'll see that it will give you one error. Set object is not subscriptable. That means you can't actually perform the indexing operation in sets. It's not possible. Set doesn't have any kinds of index. Always try to remember set doesn't have any kinds of index. Why? Because it's an unordered collection. Okay, it's an unordered collection. Order doesn't matter here. That's why there is no index. There is no index inside a set. So to prove this, I will show you one example. Let's say this is my set. Inside a set, I'm having some of the, let's say, item 1, hello, 4.5, and 1 tuple actually I'm having. Now see, if I execute this particular set, you will see that 1 is coming, hello is coming. Then see, instead of coming 4.5 at the position of 3, it is coming this particular tuple. Tuple is coming in this particular position, and this particular item is coming at the last. Okay, that's why it's it can take any kinds of random items. Okay, whenever it is showing on the console, it can take any kinds of random items. So here order doesn't matter. That's why it doesn't have any kinds of index. Always try to remember this particular concept. You can't perform any kinds of indexing operation inside a sets. Okay, it's not possible. So similar things for the slicing as well. You can't also perform the slicing. So let's say if I want to perform slicing, I can't do it. Okay, I can't do it. Slicing is not possible. Let's say 0 to 1, I want to do the slicing. It is also not possible because set doesn't have any kinds of index. Okay, index, it is it doesn't have any kinds of index. Fine. Now the next thing we'll be learning editing items, whether editing item is possible or not. Like we did in the list, I think you remember. We can change any kinds of item in the sets. Let's say this is my sets, because we saw like sets is immutable, right? We can change inside a sets. Okay, we can add value, we can delete value, but we can edit items or not. Let me show you. So let's say I want to change this particular 1 with any other value, let's say 100. Okay, now if I execute this particular program, you'll see that it will throw you error. Item support, it is telling object does not support any kinds of item assignment. Why? I told you set is immutable. By why we can't change? Because we can't use any kinds of indexing here, because I showed you set doesn't have any kinds of index. So that's why you are trying to change this particular value with this particular index. It's not possible inside a sets. Okay, it's not possible inside a sets, but you can change inside a set. It's possible. You can add value, you can delete value. It's possible because sets is a mutable data type. So for this, you have to use some function. You have to use some set function. I'll tell you some of the set function. With the help of that, you can add value, you can delete value. Okay, you can do lots of things. Fine. So let me show you some of the function example. Let's say you want to add any items inside a set. You can use this particular add function. Okay, add method you can use. It is an inbuilt method inside a set. Now let's say I want to add this particular 5 in this particular set. I'll just write s.add, and here I will add this particular 5. Now if I execute this particular program, and if I print this s, you will see that sorry, it should be upper character s. Okay, it's not a small character, it should be upper character s. Now if I execute, now you'll see that 5 has been added in this particular set. Fine. So similar wise, we are having another function. So let me show you for update. Okay, with the help of update also you can insert any kinds of value inside a set. Let's say I will update actually multiple items. So let's say I will update 11, 12 and 13. Now if I print s, sorry, if I print s, you'll see that 11, 13 and 14 added. That means what is the difference between update and add? Whenever you are using add, you can only add one item, and whenever you are using update, you can add multiple item. That is the difference only. And whenever you are defining multiple item, this particular item should be a list. Okay, as a list actually you have to give this particular input. Okay, otherwise it won't be working. I hope this part is clear. Now similar wise, you can also delete item inside a set. Okay, let me show you some deleting function. But before that, let me show you. I think you are thinking, can I delete like that? Let's say this is my set. Let's say this is my set S, and I want to delete the first item. Now if I execute, see, it's not possible because I told you it doesn't allow any kinds of indexing. That's why you can't delete like that. So if you want to delete, you have to use some deleting function for this. So let me show you some of the deleting function. So guys, you can see for deleting, we are having different function. So first function is discard, you can see. So if you're using discard, and inside that if you're mentioning any kinds of item, let's say I want to delete this particular 5, just give the 5 here, and now if I execute this program, you'll see that 5 will be removed from this particular sets. Now the next thing you can see, remove is there. With the help of remove also you can delete any kinds of, let's say, sets. So let me show you. So with the help of remove also you can delete any kinds of item from a sets. So if I execute, let's say, this particular program, and here you will see that I'm giving this particular 50. Okay, 50 I want to remove. Now see, what is the difference between this discard and remove? Let me show you. Let's say if I'm giving any kinds of item, let's say, which is not present inside this particular set. Let's say 50 is not there. 50 is not there. Now if I'm executing, still it is working. Still it is working. If it is not there, it's fine. It won't be deleting. Okay, it won't be throwing any kinds of error. Fine. And whenever I'm using remove, and let's say if any item is not present inside this particular sets, and if I execute the program, it will throw you error. It will throw you error. That means 500 is not present inside the sets. But if you're using discard, it won't be throwing any kinds of error. If not, it will give you the output, okay, as it is. And if you're using remove, it will throw you error. So sometimes if you want to throw error, you can use this discard. Sometimes if you don't want to throw error, you can use this particular remove. Okay, so let me get back. Yeah, now I think fine. Now there is another function you can use called pop. Okay, so what pop will do, pop will randomly delete one item. So let me again execute. See, if I'm executing, it is removing one only. Okay, that means the first item it is removing. Okay, pop is removing the first item, but I read actually somewhere in some blog actually, pop will remove actually randomly. Okay, randomly one item actually it will remove. And in list, pop we use for the deleting the last item. Okay, that is the difference only. Now there is another one called clear. If you perform the clear, you will get a empty set. Let's say I had my set. If I perform the clear operation, it will give me the empty set. That means it will clear all the value. Fine. So these are the way actually you can follow if you want to delete anything inside a set. So yes guys, this is all about from this particular video. I think you got it, what is set right now, and how to create a set, how to like perform editing inside a set. Let's say how to add a value, how to remove a value. Fine. So in the next video we'll be learning the set operations, like different operations are there, like union operation is there, intersection operation is there, then we are having a semantic difference is there, right? We'll be learning each and everything. So yes, this is all about from this particular video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.